There's a storm cloud hanging over our society. You can see it in rising homelessness, record consumer debt, shrinking paychecks, and an economy that seems to be working beautifully for machines but leaving millions of humans behind. More than ever before, people are doing everything right, working hard, studying, trying, yet still barely hanging on. And as automation accelerates and living costs soar, something has become undeniable. We need universal basic income, and we need it urgently. Universal Basic Income, or UBI, is a simple idea. Every adult receives a basic cash amount each month, no strings attached, no conditions, no bureaucracy. It isn't meant to make people rich. It's meant to ensure no one falls through the cracks. For years, critics dismissed UBI as unrealistic. But today, it's the world without UBI that looks unrealistic. We're entering a new economic era, one where AI, automation, and digital systems are replacing human labor faster than new jobs can be created. Entire industries are shrinking. Entry-level work is disappearing. Freelancing and gig jobs have become the norm instead of the fallback. The old safety nets, built decades ago for a stable, predictable job market, simply don't match the new world we live in. They were designed for temporary job loss, not permanent job disruption. UBI is one of the few tools that actually matches the reality we're facing. The argument for UBI doesn't start with generosity. It starts with survival. When people don't have a financial floor, they cannot plan, cannot recover, cannot grow. They spend their days in survival mode, bouncing between rent increases, medical bills, and debt payments. A society where millions live one paycheck from disaster is not stable. It is a ticking time bomb. Basic income changes that equation. When people have a guaranteed baseline of cash, it gives them breathing room. It gives them dignity. It gives them the power to say no to abusive jobs, the time to retrain, the space to care for family members, and the ability to start something new without instant financial ruin. Freedom is not just a political ideal. Financial stability is its foundation. And the fear that people will stop working? It has never matched real-world data. Every serious basic income pilot around the world shows the same trend. People continue working, but with more stability, better mental health, and better long-term outcomes. When you remove panic from people's lives, they make smarter decisions, not lazier ones. Some say UBI is too expensive. But let's talk about the cost of doing nothing. We are already paying and paying heavily for homelessness, depression, crime, emergency medical care, and long-term poverty. We are paying for fractured families, hopeless young people, and a generation stuck beneath the weight of debts they will never escape. These costs don't appear on a government budget line, but they show up in every part of society. UBI doesn't eliminate all of these problems, but it softens them. It gives people a fighting chance. UBI also cuts through the complexity of today's welfare systems. Instead of making people prove how poor they are, or trapping them in benefits, they lose the moment they earn a dollar. UBI removes the bureaucracy and the stigma. Help becomes unconditional. Support becomes consistent. And people regain their dignity. But perhaps the strongest case for UBI is emotional rather than economic. We are living in a time of anxiety. People feel like the system is slipping out of their control. Wages are stagnant, rent is crushing, job security barely exists, and entire classes of professions are about to be automated away. UBI gives people psychological stability, the sense that society has not abandoned them, that the future is still navigable, that life does not have to be a constant fight against financial collapse. Universal basic income is not charity. It is infrastructure. It is as essential as roads, electricity, and education in a world where economic shocks come faster than governments can react. Every country will eventually implement some version of it, not because it is idealistic, but because it will become unavoidable. The question is not whether society can afford UBI. It's whether society can afford the consequences of not having it. If you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps me bring you more honest discussions about the economic reality shaping our future.